It was supposed to be a fun day, a simple adventure for the Wild Boars soccer team. On June 23, 2018, 12 young boys and their assistant coach, Ekafon Chanthawong, decided to explore the Tam Luang Cave. It was a place they knew, a familiar labyrinth of rock and shadow in northern Thailand. The air was warm, and their spirits were high. They had just finished soccer practice. They rode their bicycles to the cave entrance, laughing and joking. They were excited to celebrate one of the boys' birthdays. They parked their bikes and left their backpacks near the entrance. They only planned to be inside for an hour. No one knew that danger was waiting for them, silent and powerful, deep inside the earth. They walked into the mouth of the cave. The darkness welcomed them like an old friend. They used their small flashlights to see the path ahead. The cave was huge, a natural wonder with amazing rock formations. They went deeper and deeper, exploring the winding tunnels. The boys were not afraid. They were together, a team. Their coach was with them, someone they trusted. The cool air of the cave was a nice break from the afternoon heat. They felt safe, surrounded by the ancient stone walls. They had no idea that outside, the sky was turning dark. The weather was about to change everything for them. Suddenly, the rain started. It was not just a simple shower. It was the start of the monsoon season, earlier than anyone expected. The rain fell hard and fast, a powerful downpour that pounded the mountainside. Water flowed down the slopes and rushed toward the cave entrance. It poured into the tunnels, filling them up quickly. The boys, deep inside, could hear a faint rumble. They did not know it was the sound of their escape route being cut off. The water was like a monster, swallowing the path they had just walked. Every drop of rain made their prison smaller and smaller. They decided to turn back. But when they reached the T-junction where they had come from, they saw it. Water. A lot of water. It was a murky, swirling river where a dry path used to be. Panic started to creep into their hearts. They were trapped. The way out was gone, blocked by the angry floodwaters. They had to go deeper into the cave, looking for higher ground, a place where the water could not reach them. Their fun adventure had turned into a terrifying nightmare. They were lost in the dark, with no way out. All they had was each other. Deeper and deeper they went, away from the rising water. They finally found a small, muddy ledge about 4 kilometers from the entrance. They called it Pattaya Beach. This small patch of high ground became their sanctuary. It was dark, it was cold, but it was dry. Coach Ek knew he had to keep the boys calm. He was only 25, but he had once been a Buddhist monk. He used what he had learned to help his team. He taught them how to meditate. He told them to breathe slowly and save their energy. He told them not to waste the little strength they had on fear. The days started to blur into one long night. They had no food with them. Their hunger was a constant pain in their stomachs. To survive, they licked the water that dripped down the cave walls. The water was clean, filtered by the limestone rock. It was their only source of life. Coach Ek made sure the boys drank the water but stayed away from the dirty floodwater below. He gave them hope. He told them stories and reminded them to think of their families. He was their leader, their protector, and their source of comfort in the terrifying darkness. The boys were strong. They were a team, and they acted like one. They dug a small hole with stones to try and find a way out, but the rock was too hard. They huddled together for warmth. The darkness was total. When their flashlights died, they were plunged into complete blackness. They could not see their own hands in front of their faces. They could only hear the drip, drip, drip of water and the sound of their own breathing. They talked to each other to fight off the loneliness and fear that pressed in on them from all sides. Fear was always there, a silent companion in the cold. They worried about their parents. They wondered if anyone was looking for them. Would they ever see the sun again? But Coach Ek's calm presence was a powerful force. He would tell them, "We will get out of here. Help is coming." He sacrificed for them, often giving them any small bit of comfort he could find and taking none for himself. He helped them stay united. Their teamwork on the soccer field became their key to survival, deep beneath the mountain. They were not just a team anymore. They were a family. Outside the cave, a massive rescue operation was underway. When the boys did not come home, their parents were frantic with worry. They found the bicycles and bags at the cave entrance. Soon, the news spread. The whole world was watching. Rescuers from all over Thailand rushed to the scene. The elite Thai Navy SEALs led the charge, but the conditions were impossible. The floodwaters were muddy, and the currents were strong. They could not see anything underwater. They were brave, but the cave was a deadly maze. They needed more help. Soon, help arrived from across the globe. Expert cave divers from the United Kingdom, Australia, the United States, and many other countries came to join the mission. Volunteers came by the thousands. They helped pump water out of the cave. They cooked food for the rescue workers. They managed the chaotic scene. Everyone had one goal: to find the boys. The mountain became a small city of hope, filled with people working day and night. The rain kept falling, making their work even harder and more dangerous. But they did not give up. For 9 long days, there was no sign of the team. The world held its breath. Were they still alive? Then on July 2nd, there was a breakthrough. 2 British divers, Rick Stanton and John Valanthan, were pushing through the narrow, flooded passages. They surfaced in a chamber they had not seen before. They smelled something, and then they saw them. Small figures perched on the muddy ledge. The boys were there. "How many of you?" John asked. 13, came the reply. They were all alive. It was a miracle. The moment was captured on video. The world saw the boys, thin and pale, but alive. The divers promised them that help was coming. "We are coming for you," they said. For the first time in over a week, the boys and their coach felt a powerful surge of hope. They were not alone anymore. Someone had found them. The news electrified the rescue camp and the entire world. Finding them was a huge victory, but the most dangerous part was still to come. Now they had to figure out how to get 13 people out of a flooded cave. The rescue plan was incredibly risky. The boys did not know how to swim, let alone dive. The journey out was a treacherous obstacle course of tight spaces and flooded tunnels. It would take an expert diver hours to navigate. How could they bring out 13 weak and frightened people? The rescuers debated many ideas. Waiting for the monsoon to end would take months. Drilling from the top of the mountain was too difficult. They had to choose the most dangerous option: to dive them out. One brave rescuer, a former Thai Navy SEAL named Saman Kunan, tragically died while placing oxygen tanks along the route, a sad reminder of the extreme danger. An Australian doctor and diver, Richard Harris, came up with a daring plan. He would give each boy a small dose of sedative. This would keep them calm during the rescue. They would not panic in the narrow underwater passages. Each boy would be fitted with a full-face mask and guided by a team of 2 divers. It was a plan that had never been tried before. It was filled with risks. What if the sedative wore off? What if a mask came loose? There was no room for error. The world watched, praying that this impossible plan would work. The rescue began on July 8th. The world waited anxiously. One by one, the boys were carefully brought out. The divers worked with incredible skill and courage. They passed the boys through the dark water, like a precious package. Each rescue took hours. They had to be slow and careful. For 3 days, the operation continued. 4 boys were brought out on the first day, 4 on the second, and finally, the last 4 boys and their coach on July 10th. The mission was a success. Every single one of them was saved. Cheers erupted at the rescue site and around the globe. It was a moment of pure joy and relief. The story of the wild boars became a symbol of hope. It showed what people can achieve when they work together. It was a testament to the courage of the boys and their coach, the bravery of the rescuers, and the power of international teamwork. The incredible Tam Luang Cave rescue taught the world a valuable lesson. In the face of darkness and despair, hope, courage, and unity can create miracles.
Hello, thank you. How many of you? They're all alive.
So hit that subscribe and ring that bell too, for history's wonders waiting for you. Billy at Works, let the knowledge ignite, exploring the past with all of our might.